Ground. Good day.
Good day, go ahead.
At parking. Information. Charlie, read to copy.
You are cleared to Foxtrot, Victor, Foxtrot, Alpha, 4,000 feet. Contact when ready to start.
Cleared to Foxtrot, Victor, Foxtrot, Alpha, 4,000 feet. When ready to start.
Redback is correct.
Ground. Request startup.
Startup approved. Report when ready to taxi.
Startup approved. Call you back when ready to taxi. Uniform Kilo 8 9R 3 9R 2 ground. Landed at 2 9R. Report runway vacated. Ground. Uniform Kilo 8 9R 3 9R 2 runway vacated. Request taxi to gate. Uniform Kilo 8 9R 3 9R 2 continue taxi to gate. Ground. Request pushback.
Pushback approved at own discretion.
Tower. Good day. Holding point runway 05, ready for departure.
Wind 019 degrees, 0 knots. Clear for takeoff runway 05. Report leaving 3,000 feet.
Clear for takeoff runway 05. Call you back passing 3,000 feet.
We are now ready for takeoff. Please make sure your seat belts are fastened and all baggage is secured underneath your seat or in the overhead compartments. We also ask that your seats and table trays are in the upright position for takeoff. Please switch to airplane mode or personal electronic devices, including laptops and cell phones. Enjoy your flight.
Knots. Positive rate. Gear up. Flaps. Flaps.
Airspeed low. Airspeed low. Don't sink. Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. Sink rate. Sink rate. Pull up. Sink rate. Sink rate. Pull up. Sink rate. Sink rate. Pull up. Don't sink. Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. Don't sink. Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. 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 Pull up. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear.
Traffic, traffic.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. too low, terrain, too low, terrain, too low, gear, too low, terrain, too low, terrain, too low, gear, too low, terrain, too low, terrain, too low, gear.